for us, in the fashion industry, because we've had a certain amount of experience of catering to online shoppers, we have a certain sense of understanding of how trends work, right? And I think the interesting part for Gen Z is they follow different kinds of trends that become important to them. Some of them are what you call the macro trends that work, almost at a global level. So, for example, something like cherry red is super top of mind at this point in time. And that tends to continue for a while, right? So we can take that trend and run it for a little while. Then you have more category specific trends, which are from let's take fashion perspective, from a bottoms perspective. And micro trends come from what we call hype cycles. So for example, sometime back when Emily in Paris comes out, there's a little bit of a hype cycle on everything French. How do you respond to that real time? Call Me Bae has come out right now. How will you respond to them? So there are those hype cycles where you need to respond. And I think within the ecosystem, because we are a marketplace, it's very easy for us to curate and kind of serve those pieces. That comes out of what comes on OTT or those pieces. Then you have viral trends, which I don't myself know how they come alive, but if you take Pookie Fever, for example, those are things that the world makes and it goes big. And again, the interesting part of the fashion ecosystem, and because we are a marketplace, we are always able to curate from different sources and present that to the shopper. So that's, a mix of these three different kinds of trends is how we kind of respond to it very real time. It keeps us on our toes because we have to be at it on a day-to-day perspective in terms of just understanding the trends and responding to it. We've gone from about 8 million Gen Z customers to about 16 million Gen Z customers in the last 1 year. And we've kind of seen that play out well. Just from a user base perspective, 25% of our user base now is Gen Z. So we are seeing that they are recognizing us as a destination where these trends play out. And that's kind of heartening to see. If you look at it from a Gen Z perspective, and the numbers are huge, right? There are 200 million plus urban Gen Z in the country. We know that 60 million of them are buying fashion online already. So the market is super big, and it will just get even bigger. So for me, it's about the market expanding and getting bigger, and not about who else is there. Honestly, the more players come, the market just tends to get bigger. So I'm all for that, right? The way we are looking at it is 2-3 things. One is trend and selection being super important. So for us, that's one key play. Second is freshness of the trend is super important. So we have weekly drops. So if we have about 50 to 75,000 styles, you'll also have 2,000 styles which are weekly drops, right? So both trendiness and freshness of that is important. And the third aspect of that is just from a value equation perspective. Gen Z play a little bit differently from non-Gen Z. So for example, non-Gen Z probably buy 5 to 6 times a year. Gen Z tend to buy between 9 to 10 times a year, right? But when they buy, their average ticket price tends to be lower. And that's the value equation of also how we are looking at it. So on Myntra, you take, say, women's casual, on an average, our price point could be about 800 plus minus, whereas on something like Forward, it would be closer to the 500. So it's a mix of trend, freshness, and value that we are kind of, it's the holy grail that we are looking to tap into from a Gen Z perspective. So I think inclusivity, whether it is size, color, gender, I think those are pieces that are super important. And I think that's what any brand or any platform needs to cater when they talk to Gen Z. The good part again is us being a marketplace, we have the ability to curate across many brands and offer that. So today, that's one thing we can lean in on. But the way we kind of look at it as a brand, and because we work a lot with the creator ecosystem, is how they lend themselves to these pieces. Today we work with over 25,000 creators from a Forward perspective. And what they do is come and give their take on Forward. And when you have that level of spread, automatically inclusivity comes in, because you will have people from across the country, you will have people from metros and non-metros, you will have people across gender, size, all those pieces, right? So we are almost like, that's our ecosystem that we are working with, and that keeps us and ensures that we are almost responding to them real time. One is, just when the scale that I spoke about, 25,000 influencers, a majority of them would be the micro nano influencers, right? And when you go to them, it becomes very specific to what is important for them within their community, within their audiences, and there is an authenticity which they value, and that's the lens they will use to talk about forward. So that is very interesting. Second thing that they do is how they pick up trends and they talk about it is amazing. So there are videos which are in Hindi talking about crochet knits for men t-shirts, which in our normal scheme of things, we would have never thought would be things that would come together, right? Male, Hindi and crochet, right? But that's what Gen Z demands. And yes, the authenticity is the fact that they will talk about it in Hindi. Right, that is what's native for them. They will talk about it from their city perspective or occasion perspective where it matters. So I think that's where the community plays an important role for us. It keeps things authentic, but it makes it inclusive for all their audiences, and that's how it works. I don't think working with the creator ecosystem would work if you are mandating things. What you're doing is partnering them and allowing them to talk about your brand, and that's kind of how it works. So that's one part of what we're doing. The other part that we're doing, which is kind of interesting, is we've just launched a program called the Ultimate Glam Clap. It came from UGC, user generated content, so the same UGC. And what this does is interesting because we've made our shoppers, we are enabling them to become creators. So it's a program that you sign up on our app. When you buy something, give us your real feedback and review on it. Right now it's through a text and through an image. We will get to video soon, and we will ensure that, for example, if it's a red dress, anyone else who's searching for a red dress, they will see this user generated content. Through that, if there are purchases, we actually incentivize the same to the person, right? So it's becoming shoppers becoming creators. So one is the first leg of it, which is creators talking about the brand. Second is making our own customers and shoppers become creators. So these are the two that we're kind of looking at. So, and this program is again interesting because from a point of view of Gen Z, they all want to be creators. They want their voice to be told and spoken about, and they want a platform. And in just the few weeks that we've launched this program, we have about 65,000 registrations for it. So it's an amazing scale. So I think it's a mix of these two that's kind of allowing us to work on everything influencer/creator. I think for us, it is a continuous journey of exploring. And again, this requirement is not only a Gen Z requirement, right? Whether it's through quick commerce or otherwise, I think speed is being kind of re-established in terms of what it means to consumers in the country. And that is something that we as a brand overall need to respond to. So we are, working on plans on how do we get faster, whether it's the 2-day speed, 1-day speed, exploring other options. So that is something we are constantly looking at.